Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Taurus energy. And like usual, we're going to do 2 rows. Well, kind of came out sideways, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, we're going to do 2 rows. The top row will be what some people who are harnessing a higher vibrational Taurus energy are doing in their life. And it could just be in relation to other people in your life, and you in relation to others could still have a lot of layers of yourself to shed. But in relation to what you're doing in your life right now, you have seen life from a higher perspective. You're putting in the work and effort to love and believe in yourself, to shed some layers of your shadow nature, which our shadow nature is our more worldly nature, which is also represented by the devil. And that's our fearful, insecure, prideful, egotistical, having self-limiting beliefs, not loving and believing in ourselves, being codependent, being immature, being indulgent, being selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical. Our shadow nature runs the gamut. So listen to your intuition about your own issues and listen to your intuition about different people in your life. But you've learned some lessons in life that you're ready to move forward in life in a different way than maybe some other people that you might know in your workplace, in your friendship group, in your family group. And you're ready to move forward differently, and they might not be. And so they might harness a more worldly focused Taurus energy, have some issues within themselves they aren't willing to let go of, haven't learned to love and believe in themselves. Taurus energy does have to do with what we're motivated and inspired to put work and effort into, and it is earth sign energy, and sometimes we can get really caught up in the world, the status and the image and the money and the materialism, but it can also be about being stubborn and kind of prideful and inflexible, unwilling to change. And it all has to do with our underlying philosophy of life. How do we view the world? How do we view ourselves? How do we view relationships? And people can have their own wacky, weird ideas of what it means to be in a relationship, Okay, let's go see. The reason for the high vibe people in the top row is marriage. You either want, well, one way I could look at marriage is the masculines in tarot talk about how we take action in the world, and we all take action in masculine energy because, people can present themselves whatever way they want in the world, but until we get to know their more emotional nature and their thoughts and their ideas and what drives and motivates them, people can present themselves whatever way they want. So this marriage card could just mean people who are learning to align with themselves, that how they present themselves in the world is a true reflection of who they are. For other people, they could want to get married, and they are getting married, and they're dealing with whatever issues come their way. Other people could have to walk away from maybe getting married or being married and moving forward. You start out with sudden wealth sideways, and I kind of look at the cards as moving clockwise. So if it's just within yourself, you want to feel more stable and grounded within yourself, and you're doing the work within yourself emotionally to gain insight and wisdom about maybe why you don't feel abundant and grounded, and kind of knowing your own worth and value. If you did have to leave a job or a relationship, right now you might not be in another job or group where you feel like there's long-term stability. You might feel a little bit lacking in financial resources or stability and security. And then we have the wealthy man and official person and the wealthy woman. So that kind of ties into getting aligned within yourself. Previously, people could have kind of had a lack mentality where they did operate more from their ego, and that was the official person in there who kind of ran their life, and they were kind of defensive to connecting in with their more emotionally intuitive nature, which is where our true abundance comes from. Because if we're letting our ego run our life, that's kind of letting our shadow nature, our fear, our insecurity, our emotionally defensive nature run our life. instead of like loving and believing in ourselves and being like our own best mother, father, coach voice in our head, to believe in our dreams and, you know, be willing to overcome the enemy, which is like our fears and insecurities, to maybe be more playful in the world and go on a journey in life where we are living a more authentic life, because high vibe energy is kind of like represented by the sun and the divine, and our shadowy nature is kind of represented by the world and the devil, you know. And if we really want to go on a journey in life, we kind of have to realize that our more shadowy ways of being can keep us from living the life that we want to live, being in partnerships and relationships with other people that we'd like to be in, being in career fields that we'd like to be in. Because if we haven't overcome our more emotionally immature, selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, indulgent nature, it's going to stop us from moving forward in our life. If you had been in a job or a relationship with people who were defensive to emotionally overcoming their own immature or shadow nature to go on a journey with you, you might decide to take some action to just overcome your own self-limiting beliefs to move forward in your life. If people aren't willing to be on the same, if they're not on the same page as you, basically, and they're defensive, kind of with, you know, their official person that they defend is operating more from their egoic nature, and they're kind of defensive to connecting in, to listening to their intuition, or connecting in with their emotions and being vulnerable in the world, you could have decided that, you know, they weren't on the same page as you, basically, and could have viewed them as being kind of immature or indulgent, have some growing up to do. You know, people are either aligned with being truthful and honest and loving and just and fair and treating other people the way they like to be treated, or they kind of like to have the scales tipped in their favor. And they hope that, you know, even though they're not being loving per se with the enemy card, hoping that because of your own fears or insecurities or codependency or lust or love for them, that you won't go on a journey to be in the type of relationships and jobs that you deserve to be in. And, you know, it just depends on where you're at. You know, we repeat these patterns of relationship till we've seen the truth and learned the lesson that I can't keep being in a relationship or working at a workplace where people are being defensive and prideful and egotistical, and they lack true abundance within themselves. You know, people who have gained, because this kind of reminds me of the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles is Virgo energy, and in high vibe, Virgo energy is about people who've put in the work and effort within themselves to gain insight and wisdom about things they maybe haven't wanted to look at, that they kept in the dark, and they shed light on it. Why am I defensive of being vulnerable in a relationship? Why do I defend maybe being more bossy and controlling, or prideful and egotistical, or immature, you know? And until the truth is what sets us free. And some people refuse to go within to gain insight and wisdom and maybe take a closer look at their own emotions to realize how they've been sabotaging themselves, being their own worst enemy. Because we all have a dualistic nature and we all have free will. We can either choose to align and live our life in a little bit of hell, being fearful, insecure, emotionally defensive, prideful, egotistical, bossy, controlling in relationships, and we're probably going to have people move away from us and not wanting to be in a relationship with us. Are we willing to put in some work and effort to find out and deal with our more shadowy aspects within ourselves that stop us from going on a journey? Is there other people in our life that try to manipulate and control us and maybe try to instill fear and insecurity within us? or tempt us to be more indulgent and immature. Why would some people do that in our life? Because some people, they operate from their pride and ego. And if they see that you seem to gonna be going on a journey, being bold and brave and confident in your life, going to be in a relationship that looks like it can be the relationship of your dreams, other people sometimes don't like that because they haven't done that. So then they try to interfere and cause fear and insecurity within people to stop them from aligning with the loving people in their life. If they're wanting to move and maybe go get a new job or go get in the career field they'd really love, or go to college or something. There's other people in the world who haven't done those things that might be in people's lives that try to stop them from loving and believing in themselves. If they haven't done those things themselves, and then there's just people who are in shadowy energy that want to kind of manipulate and control people because it makes them feel powerful. And if they go live their authentic life and align with people in their life who really have their best interests at heart, who want them to be bold and brave and be their authentic self and be free from being confined and limited and restricted and imprisoned, because that's kind of what negative energy of the devil represents. And there's other people who are like, I don't want you to be free. I'm imprisoned. And if I'm imprisoned, I want you to be imprisoned. So you could have been in a relationship with people who are imprisoned by their own things and people in their life, and they could be mad that you love and believe in yourself and you're freeing yourself and you're not going to stay in a little bit of hell with them, And if they aren't willing to go within to find out why are they imprisoned and enslaved and letting other people manipulate them, or, realizing that maybe they're kind of susceptible to temptation by other people who try to play on their fear, their lust, their greed, because they don't want them to get the life they deserve because they're afraid of doing it themselves. So it's like, I want to tempt you to be immature and indulgent with me. I want you to be in your addictions and your lust and your greed because I don't want to do the work to free myself, and I'm hoping you don't either, and you'll stay in a relationship with me. And you could have had some people who defend operating from ego or emotional defensiveness, or making their life more about money and materialism and status and image. And they fell to temptation. And why does that happen? Because the divine knew their heart. And they're not ready to go on a journey with you. And you are. You have put in the work and effort to deal with your own fears and insecurities and your more immature, impulsive, lustful, greedy nature, to grow and mature yourself, because you've realized that those things is kind of like the devil brings like short-term reward and like short-term victory. But if you really want to become all you can be and be in deep, meaningful relationships, we've got to quit indulging our more immature or fearful or whatever nature, And you're ready to move forward, and some other people aren't moving forward with you. And other people in your life who do the same work within themselves, who realize, if I want to move forward with certain people in my life, between friends and family and siblings and parents or love interests, they can't be defensive to connecting in with their emotions and keep staying defensive or prideful or self-centered, or, if they're more driven by indulging in the world, then go ahead and do that. But I'm moving on. If you want to indulge in your ego, if you want to indulge in your more immature ways of being, I'm going to emotionally distance myself from you, because it keeps me, if I keep investing time, energy, and effort into trying to maybe encourage other people to free themselves, but they keep not doing the work to free themselves and grow up and discipline themselves. It's like, I wish you peace. I hope it works out for you, but I can't keep staying. It's kind of like the divine isn't going to keep indulging the devil. If you want to be shadowy, you have free will. Go live your life. But I'm not going to keep emotionally investing and letting people stop me from believing in myself and trying to manipulate me and control me and make me not love and believe in myself and stay in my codependent nature, if you're not free to go live your life authentically and be bold and brave and confident, I am. And I hope one day you come with, that you free yourself from whatever it is that confines and restricts you. If it's your own mind or other people in your life or your more immature nature, we need less fearful, insecure, immature people in the world. So, you wish them peace. So, what are the people in shadowy energy doing? The reason for their reading is the main male. And again, it could be that they don't have to be a masculine energy. They could just, again, the masculine can represent our more worldly, egoic nature. And that could be what's running their life right now. And we have the ending and the house. They might want to be bossy and controlling. This looks like a military person. They don't have to have been in the military. But if they have a very harsh inner voice that you've got to do this, you've got to make, have this success, and you have to have this image, and you got to try to keep up with the Joneses. And, that's the most important thing, is competing in the world. That's like our ego nature. Instead of being free and just going and living your life, offering people peace and love, and I'm going to go enjoy my day and enjoy my jobs and, my relationships, and I'm going to be free from thinking I need to compete with everyone else in the world, because I don't have to compete with anybody except my own shadow nature and kind of, love it and comfort it and offer it compassion and forgiveness when I get caught up in my competitive, fearful, insecure nature, or prideful or envious or jealous or whatever nature. My biggest battle in life is my own shadow nature, because our shadow nature would really like to run our life, would like us not to love and believe in ourselves. It's kind of like the seeds of the knowledge of good and evil was planted within us, and the shadowy nature within us kind of wants to live our life, and it really doesn't care if at the end of a journey of life that we end up in the gutter, addicted, whatever. It's going to say, oh my gosh, that was great. Because that's what our shadow nature is like, And our loving, hopeful, believing nature wants us to love and believe in ourselves. And that's what loving people do, and that's what shadowy people do. If you are enabling people who are in shadowy energy, if they're not willing to be bold and brave and open and authentic and just and fair and love and believe in themselves, they're probably going to be in their shadowy energy of jealousy and envy and stuff, that you're doing that work within yourself, and that you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone and be more vulnerable in the world than they're willing to be. And they could be afraid that you'd go get in a different relationship or whatever. And it brings up all their fears and insecurities, but instead of dealing with it, they can become really bossy and controlling in a relationship to stop you from growing and believing in yourself, because they don't want to do the same work within themselves to grow with you. And they want you to live life the way they live life. And the way they live life, instead of tapping in and taking action in their world to grow and mature themselves, they stay in non-life-giving energy. Because this ending card kind of reminds me of shadowy Scorpio energy, where people in high vibe Scorpios, people who are willing to experience the ups and downs of life emotionally. Bring it on, God. I know all relationships won't work out. I know all jobs won't work out. I know when I go put myself out in the world, some people will be rude and unkind or whatever. I'm not going to take it personally. I don't control them. They have their own free will. They're acting out of their own reasons. I'm going to go live my life and put myself out there. And other people are like, oh no, I could get hurt doing that. I'm going to keep my authentic nature buried beneath the surface. My more emotionally vulnerable nature doesn't go out in the world to play. And I like to keep my emotions they're confusing, so I don't want to deal with them either. I'm defensive to dealing with my emotions. That stops me from moving forward in my life, and I never deal with them, so I never work through it. So I basically keep my emotions and my authentic nature buried beneath the surface, and I live more of a superficial life, operating more from my ego and my defensive nature. And some of those people want to come together in relationship with other people that enable them being that way. Or maybe they can be bossy and controlling, because shadowy Scorpio also can be people who are intimidating and controlling. But the thing is, people can present themselves whatever way they want in the world, and we have to listen to our intuition about people in our life. Do they have they detached from their old ways of being? Are they willing to come together with me in joy and celebration? Are they encouraging me to be all I can be? Or are they trying to stop me from being all I can be and being in relationship with people who are loving and supportive? Because if I were to believe in myself and not let them manipulate or control me and be the boss of me, kind of like not letting my fear or my insecurity or my ego or my emotionally defensive or immature impulsive nature be in control of me, I could really go live my life. But there's people in our life who don't want us to do that, because then they can't be bossy and controlling of us. Some people had people in their life who told them, you should end a relationship. Don't move forward with those people. Your loyalty and maybe your want for stability and security lies with us. And we don't want you to detach from us to go live your authentic life, you know? Can be friendship groups, can be family groups, you know, can be organizations and businesses. We know you're not really happy here, but we don't want you to go believe in yourself. So we're going to try to maybe intimidate and control you and make you feel bad about yourself to make you give up on your dreams of coming together with others in joy and celebration and being bold and brave and confident in yourself, because we keep staying in jobs and relationships where we've put an end to our dreams. Why should you go live your life? Stay here. Be tempted by your codependency, your own fear and insecurity of moving forward, and keep your allegiance to us. Some of those people could, the difference is, what do we do when we experience an ending in our life? Relationships don't work out. People, loved ones, pass away, or people go live their life. What do we do? Do we keep staying in our ego about the fact that those relationships ended? Or do we start to put in work and effort to kind of stand up for ourselves and get in the driver's seat of our life, to love and believe in ourselves, deal with our own fears and insecurities, to move forward in life and not give up on our dreams? Well, sadly, some people experience some heartbreak, and instead of putting in the work and effort to deal maybe with their emotions about it, they just decided to stay in their ego because they thought, it could be even, I just don't want to get hurt again, I'm not willing to put myself out there again. One relationship didn't work out, several relationships didn't work out, whatever. I'm not going to go out there again in the world. So they reject harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. And what they don't show people, because they probably want to be in relationships, right? So, Taurus energy is kind of about, in shadow, it can be people who want to look like they're very successful and abundant in the world. And some people think in order to seem like you're successful and abundant in the world, like you have to be in a relationship. And so they could want to be in relationships for the image and the status that comes with it, but they really don't want to maybe get married. They maybe don't want to deal with any of their inner issues, but they're hoping other people will be willing to be in a relationship with them anyway, and they can present themselves as being very stable and grounded and a person who walks the talk, but it's really just an illusion they present. They're really kind of more superficial and maybe emotionally shallow and defensive and maybe prideful and egotistical. So what are the energies that they reject in a high vibe manner? Well, karmic cycles are about learning lessons in life. They refuse to kind of learn lessons in life. It's like, nope, I've been hurt before. I'm not willing to move forward. I'm in my ego. I am unwilling to have that hope and faith and belief in what could be and look to the future and have some hope and faith and belief that I could connect in with my emotions and my intuition to guide me, to a better place. And if they had people in their life who did want their dreams to come into reality and they weren't willing to stay in a relationship with someone who's maybe bossy and controlling and defensive and emotionally shallow, they don't want people to know that the reason those people left their life is because those people weren't letting this person stop them and keep them in an endless loop of repeating an old pattern relationship over and over and over again where there's nothing new to learn there. Most people are motivated to grow and mature themselves and shed some of their layers of past pain and heartbreak and fear and insecurity. And this person doesn't want to do that, so they don't want other people to do that. I'm in an endless loop. I'm willing to stay in non-life-giving energy in my foundation. I want you to stay in an endless loop where you don't ever become more bold and brave and confident and listen to your intuition either. And Taurus energy can be about being stubborn and prideful. And this is the way life should be. We shouldn't listen to our intuition. We shouldn't take bold, brave, confident action. If the world says this is how we're supposed to live our life, this is how we live our life. And we turn our back on our more hopeful, believing, intuitive, curious, creative, inspired nature, where we take the lessons that we've learned in life and we add and grow and expand upon them. And some people are like, I think some people just lack that creative spark within them. They could be a very stubborn or non-creative person. And if they could have possibly grown up in families where people were kind of all about more about ego and image and status and this is the way you should live your life. We don't have hope and faith and belief and take bold creative action in the world because that would require that we be a spiritual leader in the world, which is like high vibe Taurus energy, where we are willing to grow and mature ourselves and we try to help other people grow and mature themselves. They got caught up in the illusion of the world that it's more about image and status and how we present ourselves in the world. That's the most important thing. And some people grew up in households like that, and it just snuffed out, I think, them connecting in with their own emotions and their own intuition. Because the people that they could have grown up with were really maybe stubborn and prideful and controlling. And now they don't ever take any creative action in their own life. It's like, no, this is how they told me I should live my life. This is how I'm going to live my life. I'm going to keep doing life just like they did it. Nothing new to learn here. Same old thing over and over and over. Nothing new is being given birth to. Nothing is transforming. Nothing is changing. It stays exactly in the stagnant, non-life-giving energy. But some people stubbornly refuse to change, don't want to change. And if you're dealing with people like that, you just got to see the truth of it. Listen to your intuition. They don't want to change. They don't want you to change. They don't want you to believe in yourself. They don't want you to listen to your intuition. They ignore their intuition. They want you to stifle that and not believe in it and make your life maybe all about indulging in the world or making your life all about staying in a relationship because of the status or the image or the money or the whatever. It looks really great to the outside world. You should want to stay in the relationship. And that could be the type of relationships they want to be in with other people who think that same way. If it has the status and the image and it has the money and by worldly things it looks like we got it all, I'm staying. So they could almost view you as the enemy, as some immature person. Because why don't you live your life like they do? They would never leave a relationship if it had all those things. Even if people are being intimidating and controlling and bossy. If it has the status and the image and the money, boy, they're staying. And then sometimes that's people's comfort zone. And people don't want to step out of their comfort zone. They have a lot of fear about that, of maybe looking at life a little bit more like an adventure to be lived and stepping outside their comfort zone some and, willing to face their fears and insecurities. You could seem like the Antichrist. How dare you listen to your intuition? How dare you make your life other than about the world? And what they don't show people is that they harness these energies in a shadowy way. That they do keep repeating this pattern. They never do grow and mature themselves. They don't want people to know that they're kind of operating more from their ego. Either that they're very emotionally defensive and defensive to connecting with their emotions and their intuition because they get hurt doing that. But they don't want people to know that. That they maybe keep staying kind of immature, and that maybe they like to get in relationships to indulge themselves emotionally, but they never plan to really get into a deep emotional connection with people. It's kind of like getting in a relationship and just having sex with people, but there's no true depth and intimacy to it. It's kind of an emotionally shallow relationship. But they're okay with that if they can indulge in it sexually, male or female, and they prefer not to connect in with themselves emotionally or be in deep, meaningful relationships. Life's about getting in relationships, having sex with people, and getting in relationships with people who have the status and the image and the money and the materialism, or the same addictions that they do or the same fears that they have, where they don't have to be vulnerable in the world. So let's go see how this is going to work out. As you could have been in that relationship, defensive to moving forward with other people in your life, and because if we get one job or relationship, we're not choosing other people, right? There could have been other people too that have been hoping you would listen to your intuition, that you were in relationships with people who didn't have your best interest at mind, who knew that those people are deceptive and manipulative and selfish and greedy and all that stuff. Got an alarm on my phone. And they could have been waiting for you to get out of that relationship so they could go on a journey with you, because they could see that you are maybe a loving, giving person who's balanced within yourself, and other people kind of try to take advantage of people who are like that, get them in relationships, and then they're not willing to really bring the dream into reality. And there's other people in the world who would love to bring the dream into reality with you. Tell us about what's coming for people who harness some high vibe Taurus energy. The Death card, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands, because of the Eight of Cups. There's people in the world, or just your own loving nature, that want you to walk away from illusion, to love yourself enough to walk away from being an illusion or in your own fears, your own insecurities, your own self-limiting beliefs, your own codependent nature, to love and believe in yourself, to, in Scorpio energy of the Death card, emotionally detached from a foundation, your more worldly foundation, other people in your life who might be more worldly focused, to look at life as an adventure to be lived, and go live it, and go be independent of those people, and go live your authentic life. Learn how to fill your own cup. Be in a relationship with other people who've learned how to deal with their own issues, that they're able to fill up their own cup emotionally. People who believe in their dreams and really bringing the dream into reality, not people who create an illusion. Be willing to go on a new journey. If you found out the job or the relationship or the friendship or the organization you're in, it isn't going to be what they claimed it was going to be. Go on a new journey. Be bold and brave and confident, Okay, tell us about the people who are in shadowy energy, what they don't see coming in their life. They're going to feel stuck because in the Emperor energy, they could be all about themselves. The Emperor, they don't have to be an Aries sign, but the way they harness their Aries energy is, I don't want to see the truth. I might get in relationships with people and promise and give the impression I'm going to bring a dream into reality, but I'm really not. I'm in the denial of the truth that life's about love. I kind of think it's more about me, because Aries energy is about the self in a way. And so they're very consumed with themselves, either their fear, their insecurity, their emotional defensiveness, their wants, their needs, their lust, their greed, their pride, their ego, maybe wanting to look like a boss in the world, like they're really successful compared to other people, and they don't want to see the truth. They're more motivated and driven by the world or their ego or their more immature, indulgent nature. And they might be people who don't. The truth sets us free, and there could be a lot of things that they don't want to see the truth about themselves, about their friend group or their family that they grew up with or something. But I've got to go. So there you go, Taurus. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.